Creatures of the night, let's talk about Collision because your girl gotta do New Japan in a few more hours. So if you want to check me out for the G1 Climax 35 finals to see Takeshita win, hopefully Takeshita win, come back and see me later on during that live stream. Now, let's talk about Collision. We started off with Daddy Magic, who's on commentary with Tony Schiavone, because Nigel is busy getting ready for the main event that he's going to be in the four-way. Winner of that match will go against Zack Sabre Jr. at Forbidden Door. We'll talk about that in a moment. But we start off with Timeless Toni Storm, who is on the stage in her spotlight, cutting a promo on Athena and saying that Athena has all these useless nicknames, and one of her nicknames is the Fallen Goddess, and if she's a goddess, then she should pray to her. And she prays that Athena will be leaving London with her ass print on her face. And just as she was on the ground, looking like she was about to pray, here's Athena, who comes and attack Toni Storm. She misses, but Billy Starks come from behind, and they end up putting the pause on our champion. Now, just when we thought that she was going to get her ass whooped and thrown somewhere, Mina Shirakawa comes on out there to fight Athena. Now, they end up pretty much evening things out, and Toni Storm and Mina are just kissing each other in the face or whatever after that, celebrating that they're back together. What's interesting about this is that they didn't mention that Athena is going to be having a match with Mina Shirakawa for the Ring of Honor Women's title at the Dead Before Dishonor pay-per-view, which is the week after Forbidden Door. So Toni Storm and Athena will be going at it at Forbidden Door, and Athena, I'm kind of hoping, actually wins, and she'll be titled up with 2 titles and go to the Dead Before Dishonor pay-per-view, which is going to be on that Friday, to go against Mina Shirakawa. That would actually be interesting, but I don't know if that's in the plans. After this, we have Jet Speed getting ass whooping from Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta. Now, what was interesting is that we even had Mike Bailey putting his hand on a lady. Marina didn't deserve this at all. He pushed her, and then he pushed her again, but onto the steps. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing with these ladies ringside? Like, you guys shouldn't have to be touching anyone. Now, just when we thought that Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta had somewhat of a chance of losing, they flipped the script. Wheeler Yuta ends up taking the win. If you got to punch somebody in the testicles to get a win, then a win is a win. Doesn't matter how you get it, so it's cool. And our boys win another match. I thought it was interesting that it led to this because both members of Jet Speed went against Jon Moxley, got their ass whooped, and they decided, let's try this again, but together, and see if maybe we can win. And they don't. Boo-hoo. Now, after this, we get this vignette from the Outrunners. They are like back in the 80s, and they're doing a training video that was called Mother Nature, but they scratched out Mother and put Brother Nature, some shit like that. I don't know. I was just like, what the hell? It's been a while since we gotten one of these type of videos from the Outrunners. And honestly, I almost forgot what it was that we fell in love with the Outrunners for, being these young men from the 80s that are always doing these silly things, but happen to actually be a great tag team. And somehow, some way, that's gotten lost in the shuffle, after that match with the Hurt Syndicate a few months back. So I don't know what it is. Hopefully we get back to the groove of things with the Outrunners moving forward. Now after this, we get our boy Ricochet going against, drumroll, Ace Austin, who is now part of AEW. He comes on out, and I don't know if people, where were they again on Thursday? I think Cincinnati, something like that, Ohio, somewhere. I don't know if they noticed who he was, but the reaction of him being there just wasn't as loud as I thought it would be. But that's cool. People are going to get familiar with Ace Austin, and they're going to fall in love with him too. That man and them thighs are just, that's a whole nother zip code. I don't know what it is, but it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. They have a pretty great match, but honestly, we do know that this is his first match. Personally, I'm cool with a new guy, regardless of what his status is in the wrestling world, losing his first match coming in. And I think it was apparent that Ricochet was going to need the help of Gates of Agony. And unfortunately, they gave it that Looney Tune type of feel where it's like Gates of Agony's out there, but they can't really do anything to help their guy. So they look like idiots out there. I hate when they do shit like this. I'll tell you, totally on a Bishop count too fine to be looking like Looney Tune characters out there. I don't know what it was, but still, they were able to somehow, some way help Ricochet take the win. Ace Austin is All Elite. There's already that talk of the Bullet Club Gold situation going on of him. I don't want to say necessarily being a leader, but being part of that group, especially while Jay White isn't around. That is a possibility. But for anybody who's thinking that, Ace has lost and probably shouldn't have happened because his first match, I think that is completely understandable. And with there being interference, it does make it look a little bit more credible that he would lose against 3 other guys. Now after this, Renee Paquette is asking the Hurt Syndicate if they are okay. Is everything okay? Especially with the drama with MJF. And here is what's the MVP? It's like drama. What drama? You talking about the little things that the people on the internet be starting on? There's no drama going on. Ain't no problem going on over here. And they have their I think their new shirts, their new Hurt Syndicate shirts. And look, I understand. There's 3 of y'all. If Bobby and MVP are wearing the shirts, Shelton, baby, you don't have to wear one either. You could just stand there and just look good without a shirt. That's what they should have done, but they didn't. I do really like the Hurt Syndicate. I'm not seeing enough. I'm not seeing enough. And they are not in any feuds with an actual team. It's literally just been them and MJF and them having matches with whoever it is that is just next in line. I just don't understand what's going on with that. And I feel like that's a missed opportunity that the company's not taking with them, is actually putting them in a story with a team. And they may possibly lose the titles at Forbidden Door to FTR so that FTR can do the little thing with Christian and Uncle Adam. Honestly, I'm not feeling it. And when we're talking about tag teams, here we have up next Blake Christian teaming up with Lee Johnson to go against Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. Lord have mercy. When we're talking about a credible team, Roderick and Kyle O'Reilly is it. There is no reason why we haven't seen them in weeks. There's no reason why they're not doing anything unless it's related to fucking conglomeration or Adam Cole. What is going on? These are 2 of the very best wrestlers on the damn roster, and there's literally nothing going on with them. Tony, AEW, I don't know. No clue. They showed up and showed out. And with that performance that they had, Blake, Lee, we appreciate y'all. They showed up and showed out too. But Roderick and Kyle O'Reilly, their synergy is just amazing. They're an amazing team. And even when they're on their own, doing their own shit, they're amazing. I cannot believe that these guys haven't had way more opportunities than what they've had so far in this company. But with a match like this, it makes me wonder, why we're not seeing more of Kyle and Roderick just running through the fucking AEW tag division and working their way to the top to go against Hurt Syndicate at Forbidden Door, All Out, or whatever the hell it is. These guys deserve to have titles. They end up taking the win, which no one is surprised about. But after the match, Ishii and Hologram for the kids came on out there to celebrate with them. Roderick is like, I don't know you fools. I don't want to do anything with y'all. I'm over the conglomeration thing. So am I. But Kyle O'Reilly seems to still really love hanging out with them. I don't understand what's going on with that. I hope they're not breaking them up because we really haven't gotten a chance to see anything with these 2 guys as a team. Now after this, they remind us that FTR and Brodito is supposed to have a match next week, where that match will go against Hurt Syndicate at Forbidden Door. So here is Brodito, already got his ass whooped before the camera even got out there, and they snatch his mask off, and then you see Brody King running after FTR all the way to the ring, and they end up beating him up. Since obviously Bandito's back there with his face out, so he can't do anything. And basically this is just to remind everybody that, hey, we got a match on Wednesday in Scotland, and we're going to beat Brodito to go for the tag titles. I think storyline wise, I think people will definitely see it to beat FTR to win. Brodito, they've actually pretty much impressed me and a lot of people in terms of them and their chemistry as a team, I wouldn't mind them. But if we're talking long-term story going with FTR and then our stepdaddy and Uncle Adam and everything, it all makes sense. But to be honest, I'm tired of predictability, so it is what it is. After this, somehow, some way, Sky Flight, is the name of that group, Sky Flight? Why Sky? No, it's not Sky Team. That's the one from over there in CMLL, whatever their name is. Something about it don't sound right about it. Dante and them. Dante, every time we see Dante, he's eating something. Why is Dante Martin eating something every time we see him? They spent enough time in catering. I don't want to see you eat anything. I want to see you in the ring. They're over there with Scorpio Sky, Layla Gray, and what's his name? Christopher Daniels. And I have yet to see anything that stands out. They're calling out Uncle Don and Don Callis family for what? I don't know. They said, look, whether it's singles match, tag match, trios match, bring your asses over. And I was like, oh, okay. And they're going to go train. Layla Gray apparently cusses, so she has to give $50 for the swear jar or some shit. And then she cusses again, they have to give $100. Whatever the hell that was. I don't know. I don't know where they're going. I wish I could be happy for them, but honestly, I'm not. Now we have Tony Khan throwing out another 100K for the ladies. Anna Jay going against Penelope Ford, going against Julia Hart, going against Chris Statlander. Now, honestly, Statlander, she's my favorite, so I went with her in terms of who I wanted to win. But it could have been any one of these girls. I'm glad that we're getting a chance to see more women on the card. And I feel like Tony Khan has felt like maybe they've answered everyone's complaints in terms of wanting more girls by having more multi-men matches with the girls. So we've been seeing 8-man tag trios. We've been seeing 100K on the line, 4-ways and shit like that, so that we can have more girls on TV. Doesn't necessarily equal to more time of girls on TV. We can still dedicate more time and stories, but it kind of seemed like we're still seeing the same girls every week, but whatever. They end up having a decent matchup here. There was a couple of times here where I was just like, all right, I don't know what's going on here, but let's clean it up. Chris Statlander ends up taking that 100K. Chris, if you need someone to help you with your finances, give me a call. I'm not doing anything. After the match, though, we do have Triangle of Madness. They all came on out there. Queen Amanada, Megan Bain, Lord have mercy, Megan Bain. Every time she comes into the room, it's like everybody else just stop trying. The prettiest girl done walked in. Like, it's just always that every single time. While they're over there getting into all this shenanigans, fighting, beating each other up, then music hit, and it's Harley Cameron. And somehow everyone scattered like flies. She had something in her hand. I can't tell what it was. I tried to pause it. Still couldn't tell what it was. And she's wearing a mask to protect her face and, her nose or whatever, because she had broke her nose. And I'm going to be honest with you. Harley Cameron, she's improved. She's funny. She's pretty. She got a killer personality. But I would not, myself, who's not a wrestler, I would not run if Harley Cameron came my way. I will never run in fear if Harley Cameron came out. So that felt a little bit weird to see everyone kind of scared of her. I don't know what the situation was with that and where we're going, but it's interesting. We'll see what's going to happen with Harley Cameron, who seems to be back in action. Now, we have a promo from Kyle Fletcher, Lance Archer, and Hachi Sato just standing there being cute. And I'm just like, okay, what y'all here to talk about? They're talking about Sky Flight, or whatever the hell that group is called. Is it Sky Flight? I feel like I'm saying it wrong. I don't know, whatever. They talk about Sky Flight, and they're saying that, hey, we'll take you guys on in Scotland. Doesn't matter if just one of us tags or trios or whatever. And I was just like, okay. And then it was like, oh, and Takeshita's in Japan and we wish him luck. I said, wish him luck. Takeshita is fighting for his life over there in the finals. Not only going against one person, but against Evil, who has like 10 people in his group. And they all are vowing to beat up Takeshita in the finals of the G1. And you talking about good luck to Takeshita? Get your ass, all your asses on the plane to go help Takeshita. If they don't show up over there, I am not going to be happy. I'm really not going to be happy. But we'll see what happens with that. Because honestly, I do feel like, especially with the show being taped on Thursday, they have somewhat of time to be traveling to Japan and being on the side of Takeshita at the G1 finals. But we'll see. The only person who's actually been there for him this entire time is Rocky Romero. Now we have Juice Robinson versus Brian Keith. We've been having somewhat of a beef with these two teams ever since the tag tournament to qualify to go against Hurt Syndicate. To be honest with you, the story, I mean, there's something there, but nothing that's grabbing me. But I am happy to be able to see all these guys in the ring. Brian Keith seemingly back to being the bounty hunter, I think. And Big Bill, Lord have mercy. Oh my God, how can somebody looks like this? Like he's tall, the hair. Typically tattoos is my thing, so he doesn't have that. But I mean, everything is right. He has the look of the perfect wrestler almost. He does. But he just haven't had much opportunities to do more. So hopefully we'll see more when it comes to them. Colton is still injured. Jay White, we still praying. So we got Carblade. And we have Austin Gunn, who is ringside, who is getting into it with Big Bill ringside. I feel like the real beef is Big Bill and Juice. I feel like that's what it is. I don't know if I honestly, I don't know what the story is. Whatever. The match is pretty decent, and I'm glad that we got a chance to see both of these guys. Juice been gone for a long time. Brian Keith had been a bad apple for a long time, so I guess he found himself, if anything. So we got a chance to see both of these guys just being themselves in the ring. However, even with all the shenanigans going on, Juice Robinson surprisingly ends up taking the win. But whatever's going on with these two teams, it's not over. Now, before our main event, we have Anthony Bowens, who is really upset because when Renee Paquette is doing her interview with him, she brings up Max Caster and don't really ask about him. And he's like, oh, he's a loser. Every time he goes out there, he's losing every week. And I'm the one who's doing all these promotional things for the companies. I'm going to these red carpets and all these things. He's listing all these things that he just did this past week. And I was like, damn, like you doing all this? Like, damn, like I would love to do all that stuff. But he's not really getting time in the ring where it matters the most. Like, we're watching a wrestling show. You can be doing all these red carpets, but if you're not in the ring, like, people are just not going to be seeing you and not going to be able to connect with you. And he's really upset because despite what's going on with Max Caster being a loser, which I think he is, the crowd is cheering for Max. They're literally cheering for Max as Anthony Bowens is talking about how much of a loser he is. And I am blown away that they have literally taken this whole thing about somebody being a loser and got him over in Cincinnati, apparently. I don't know about the rest of the world or whatever, but in Cincinnati, they were cheering for him. And I was just like, it can work for the right person. We'll see where it goes because truthfully, Max Caster, even when the whole loser thing is over, I don't know how likable he actually is. I've never actually felt like he was likable. But Anthony Bowens have given more of a likable vibe, but he's just boring. He's hot and boring. That's it. Not a good combo. So we'll see where that goes because he's mad that Anthony Bowens is not going to be going to Scotland because Max Caster is going to Scotland to do his first international 1 minute challenge. What was that thing called again? What he called it? A 5-minute challenge, beat the clock, whatever it is called. So he's going to Scotland, and Anthony Bowens is probably going to stay home with the cats. We'll see. All right, main event. We have a technical spectacular where we have Lee Moriarty going against Hechisero, who's so dreamy. Oh my God, he's so dreamy. To go against Nigel McGuinness, and then Daniel Garcia was there too. Oh God, Lee Moriarty would be great to go against Zack Sabre Jr. Hechisero, we've seen it a million times. Their chemistry with each other is sexual. I love it. And then Danny Garcia. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what's happened to him. He's gotten lost. He's great in the ring, but like nobody's really sitting here looking at all four of these guys and saying, I want it to be Danny Garcia. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that, which is crazy. And then there's Nigel McGuinness, where we had a little teaser of Zach and Nigel in the ring at not Forbidden Door, All In the UK, and the whole fucking country almost blew up because of everybody cheering for these two, and we wanted this dream match between them. In this match, everyone here is really technical, so it's not always everybody vibe. I always say, like, technical wrestling is my favorite style. I'm in love when it comes to seeing technical matches, but it doesn't appeal to everybody. So yes, it's submission galore and all these holds and everything going on in the match. And it's a lot going on because it's a four-way. So at times I found it difficult to keep up with. And usually whenever there were submission spots, it's everybody trying to do submission at once, or two people doing submission on someone else. So it can be a bit of an eyeful, or too much for your eyes that's going on at that time. But overall, I thought this was a really great main event. And I think this was like 20 minutes, maybe slightly over 20 minutes. And we haven't gotten a 20-minute match in Collision in a long time. And Collision used to be known for them having those lengthy main events. So it's been quite a while since we've gotten that. However, somehow, some way, exactly what we knew was going to happen, exactly what should have happened regardless, Nigel McGuinness ends up winning. And Daniel Garcia looks like you took cake from a fat kid. And he just did not look happy about it at all. He looked like he was about to burst into tears. And Renee Paquette come on in there in that little short-ass red dress. I see you, Renee. And she's talking to Nigel. And I'm just like, Danny Garcia is still in the ring, pal. And I was like, bitch, get up and let us celebrate with Nigel. Why are you still sitting here? And Nigel goes to say to Danny, like, oh, don't go. I just want to say, like, we really care about you. You got a future in this business and blah, 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 blah. All these things that I probably wouldn't say. And he goes and said, I would love for you to come to UK with me and be by my side during my match with Zach. And I was just like, so Danny can't wrestle, but he can be a valet? Cool. Danny, he's not necessarily happy because he lost, but he ends up shaking Nigel's hands and he's going to be on his corner. Do I smell a heel turn? Maybe. If he ends up costing Nigel the win, that's cool because we know that he's not going to beat Zach for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. So I'm cool with it, and that will take things to the next level for Danny to be able to have a story and even end up having a match with Nigel McGuinness, maybe next pay-per-view or some shit, because Danny needs this. Danny absolutely needs this for sure. Zach don't need no help. Bay don't need help. But to move forward, to have a story for Nigel and Danny, then I'm okay with that. Like I said, but Bay don't need the help. Either way, this was a pretty decent episode of Collision. We will be back on Wednesday for Dynamite. They'll be in Glasgow, Scotland. See, there we go. Geography. I don't know anything about geography, but there we are. Next week, we're going to be in the UK, and I'm so excited for Forbidden Door. So you guys, I will see you guys then. And don't forget, G1 Climax 35, the finals. I will be live if you want to check that out. See you guys then.